Hey, dear viewers, lean in for a second, because what you're about to witness will make you question every hidden talent you've ever overlooked. Picture this, a rain-slick dawn over the gleaming glass tower of Meridian Dynamics, where the boardroom lights are already burning even before the city wakes. Inside, CEO Alexander Kane, razor-sharp suit, eyes bloodshot from another sleepless night, stands at the head of a table littered with spreadsheets, legal briefs, and the quiet panic of a looming catastrophe. A software bug in their flagship product has frozen $200 million in client funds, and every second ticks like a detonator. Developers have tried for weeks. Consultants have charged fortunes. Investors are circling like vultures. No fix in sight. And that, my friends, is precisely when a figure no one noticed pushes in a cart of coffee and croissants, Elena Reyes, the quiet live-in maid who tidies Kane's penthouse and sometimes fills in for catering when the staff is short. No one sees her slip a flash drive from her pocket, her fingers trembling not with fear but with a fierce determination born of debts, dreams, and a mind synapsing at lightning speed. While executives explode in arguments, Elena's wide brown eyes flick across the wall-mounted screen. Numbers dance, error logs scroll, and in a single heart-hammering breath she knows, the way some people know music by ear, where the fault hides. Her world has always been algorithms. She dropped out of a scholarship PhD to send money home. Cleaning Kane's apartment was just a stopgap. But time has run out on silence. She steps forward. I think I can solve it, she says, voice barely above a whisper. The room falls dead. A ripple of disbelief, irritation, ridicule. Kane's gaze locks onto hers, steel and curiosity strangling exhaustion. Show me, he says, handing her the wireless keyboard. Elena inhales, shoulders square, and for 30 breathless seconds her fingers move like a pianist conjuring thunder. A few keystrokes reroute a recursive loop, patching a decimal truncation that snares every large transaction. She rewrites 2 lines, refactors a function, presses enter, and the frozen $200 million roars back to life. Accounts unlock, balances update, a collective gasp trembles through the boardroom like wind in stained glass. The crisis dashboard flips from crimson to cool, reassuring green. Silence, then uproar, the sound of jaws hitting glass tabletops. Kane's phone lights up with frantic thank you pings from the auditing team downstairs. Elena's knees threaten to give, but she stands, back straight, heart a drum. Kane finally breathes. Everyone, out, he orders, voice calm as still water, and suddenly the titans of industry scatter like startled sparrows, leaving Maid and Magnate alone amid the shattered hush. He doesn't speak at first, just studies her as though the universe has cracked open. Then the change begins, the power dynamic of an empire tilting on a single axis. Who are you really? He asks, not unkindly. Elena swallows the lump of every invisible night she's coded in secret between washing dishes and folding silk ties. A girl who loves solving problems, she says. And that is the moment, dear viewers, the heartbeat where possibility glows like sunrise over ruin, when the CEO's entire world rewrites itself around the woman no one saw coming. Chapter 2. By lunchtime the rumor has wildfire spread through every marble corridor, the maid saved the company. But what Alexander Kane does next shatters corporate mythology. He summons the full board, the in-house counsel, HR, and Elena, still wearing a simple cotton blouse smudged with flour from breakfast pastries. Cameras are banned, NDAs slide across polished oak. Elena braces for dismissal, big men don't like being shown up. Instead, Kane speaks first, voice carrying the conviction of a pledge. Meridian survives because of Ms. Reyes, he announces. Effective immediately, she is lead solutions architect with a salary and equity package commensurate to her contribution. Murmurs erupt. A director protests protocol. Kane raises a hand. Protocol nearly bankrupted us. Elena's pulse thunders so loudly she barely notices the HR rep sliding a contract thick as a novella toward her shaking fingers. But the shock isn't over. Kane pivots to the assembly line hierarchy. We're instituting an open talent incubator. Any employee, janitor, driver, intern, can propose fixes or innovations directly to the executive council. Genius has no title. The room tilts. The old guard stiffens, the young lean forward, eyes bright. Kane then faces Elena. One condition, he says softly. Lead the incubator. Teach us to see minds, not nameplates. Tears blur Elena's vision. She hears her abuela's voice, telling her scrubbed floors are honorable but never final. She signs. The pen feels heavier than any mop handle. Over the following weeks she transforms from ghost to legend. She codes side by side with shell-shocked senior engineers, translating brilliance into mentorship. She designs scholarships for low-income prodigies. She pilots overnight hackathons where cafeteria staff swap apron for IDE. And every time a new idea saves a client millions or pioneers a breakthrough, Kane credits the culture she seeded. Their partnership is a storm and a sunrise, arguments over architecture, laughter over midnight takeout, and unspoken gravity drawing them closer. Investors who once threatened lawsuits now toast record profits. Journalists clamor for an interview with the Maid who rewired Wall Street. Elena blushes but speaks. Talent is universal, opportunity is not. Shares soar. Yet the most shocking moment of all comes one quiet Friday evening as they overlook the city from Kane's penthouse terrace, the same skyline that once felt like a wall. Elena recalls the night she first entered to polish silverware, hiding her coding notebooks under her coat. Kane hands her a small velvet box, not jewelry, but a custom key card embossed with her initials and the words, Chief Innovation Officer. I built a tower, he says, but you taught me how to open the doors. Elena's voice trembles, we'll open them for everyone. And with the city lights shimmering like constellations of possibility, they sign the charter for Meridian's Global STEM Foundation. So, dear viewers, if this story stirred your heart, if it reminded you that brilliance can bloom in the most unexpected places, go ahead and smash that like button, share it with anyone who's ever felt unseen, and hit subscribe so you never miss another tale where underdogs rewrite destiny. Because somewhere out there, another Elena is wiping down a counter while inventing the future in her head, and with your support, maybe the world will be ready to listen. The door to Kane's office shut behind them. Elena stood awkwardly, still in her cleaning uniform, unsure whether she was in trouble or about to be thanked. Alexander Kane, usually unreadable, stood by the window overlooking the skyline. That was brilliant, he said finally. I didn't mean to intrude, Elena replied, her hands wringing nervously. I just saw the code and recognized the pattern. I've seen something like it before. Where? I used to study computer science. I was working on my PhD. But, she looked down. My father got sick. I had to leave. This job helped keep us going. Kane turned slowly. Why didn't anyone know this about you? Because no one ever asked. He looked at her in a way no one had before, not as a maid, not as a girl from nowhere. But as someone who could have been sitting at that boardroom table if life had gone just a little differently. I want to offer you a position, he said. Not as cleaning staff. As part of the development team. Elena's eyes widened. You're serious? Deadly. That afternoon, the boardroom met again. This time, Elena stood at the head, her cleaning apron gone, dressed in a simple black dress shirt and slacks Kane had delivered from a private tailor. She looked unsure but stood tall. Alexander introduced her to the entire executive team. She's the reason we're not bankrupt right now, he said bluntly. From today, she's lead solutions architect. And she'll be spearheading a new initiative I've created called Open Talent. He paused. There are too many people in this company, hell, in this world, who are brilliant but invisible. Who go unnoticed because they don't have the right resume, the right background, or the right suit. That ends today. Anyone, from any department, will be able to submit solutions and ideas directly to leadership. There were some shocked faces. Some looked threatened. But Kane didn't care. He had seen firsthand how a single overlooked woman had changed everything. And now he wanted to build a company that welcomed more Elenas. Over the next few weeks, Elena worked harder than anyone. She stayed late, helped junior developers, taught interns who had more degrees than her but half the insight. She led with kindness. With vision. The company culture began to change. People began listening more, judging less. Kane and Elena worked closely, him learning from her humility, her growing into the leader she was meant to be. They disagreed often, but respectfully. They challenged each other. Inspired each other. And one night, weeks later, they stood on the roof of Meridian, watching the city lights below. You changed this place, he said to her quietly. No, she replied. You let me. He looked at her with something deeper in his eyes now. Respect. Gratitude. Maybe even love. Elena, he said. The world almost never saw you. I almost didn't. But I see you now. She smiled, eyes glistening. Then promise me you'll keep looking. Because there are more people like me out there. And they're still invisible. Kane nodded. I promise. They stood side by side, the CEO and the former maid, looking out over a city that would never forget the day everything changed. Dear viewers, if this story moved you even a little, if it reminded you that talent can come from anywhere, and that the quietest people often carry the loudest dreams, then please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs encouragement today. Let's remind the world. Speech balloon brilliance doesn't need a title. Speech balloon and every Elena deserves a chance to shine. Stay inspired. Until next time. Sparkling heart.